the right to know law, and now at the top of our list is voter fraud. You have a tip for us, some information for us, you want to join or help us out, cnht.org.
I was late on the button. Late on the button. I was listening to the conversation off air, that's why. See, we have conversations. We keep grok talking even when we're not on the air. But we're back, and thank you very much for listening. Those of you on the podcast, please check our past programs, past guests. We've had all sorts of local and national guests. We've had a lot of local candidates for public office here, but we try to squeeze in some people who are experts on different subjects from around the globe, mostly within the United States. That's who we are. That's what GrokTALK is. Again, Facebook and Twitter. Just check us out. Look for Granite Grok. And we are, of course, sending this little program up onto YouTube as soon as it's processed later. And right now we're on Ustream, and you can go to Ustream and check out past programs as well. And, of course, just check granitegrok.com/GrokTalk for every episode. This is episode 70, I believe. Oh, my music stopped. So this is the 70th one. We're heading for 100. That'll be next spring, I suspect, because we always take a couple of weeks off at the end of the year around Christmas and New Year's. So we don't just do 52 shows a year.
And let me just put in a plug here. It's Steve's enthusiasm that really resurrected GrokTALK as a regular show, and he helps to keep us all in line, and we all just do our best to contribute and keep the whole thing going.
Yeah, this week I was very busy, and I was emailing everybody and saying, "Get me some damn guests. I don't have time."
And lo and behold, we have guests.
Within a day, I had guests. It was awesome. So I don't have to go it alone.
So I'm glad I could help out.
Thank you very much.
So again, Patrick Page, owner of Flagworks here on the Main Street in Concord, and of a real estate business. So tell us, Patrick, you've been saying that government and fees and taxes and bureaucracy have been making business less competitive in New Hampshire. How's government been affecting the real estate market in New Hampshire?
Well, I'd like to bow out of that question, okay? All I know is we got the real estate transfer tax, we got the Real Estate Commission coming up with laws, changing the educational requirements, et cetera, et cetera. It's too much for me to even get my arms around right now.
But basically, bureaucracy is once again hamstringing business.
Absolutely.
Fair enough.
Let's just make it harder to do things.
Right.
That should be the Democrat Party's slogan. We're just going to make it harder to do things. So if you win, thoughts on maybe committee assignments you might want to try to have? Anything in particular other than, I know we've talked about business taxes, so that's Ways and Means, but what else is of interest?
Well, school funding. I'm a proponent of school choice, where we've actually gone into homeschooling. Mm-hmm. We're back out of that now. We send one child to a Montessori, one to Merrimack Valley, and we'd like to possibly open up a door for having a choice of being able to go to any school. Right now, that's limited because with following your tax dollars, following the child. Right now, we send to Montessori school. That's above and beyond. We still send our school taxes to Merrimack Valley.
Sure you do.
So that would be something I'd like to look into, at least follow what's happening with that. Because,
no, go ahead.
The worst thing we have is we have the federal government coming down with the Common Core and No Child Left Behind. And we've got to then follow that. We don't need their hands in our kids. Just don't need that.
No, which basically means you need a strong legislature and governor to be able to say to the feds, hell no, we don't need your regulations. We can manage it better ourselves. Right. But we don't get enough of that taking place in the state houses.
Yeah.
We don't really, and we talk about federal overreach a lot on this program, and we talk about local control a lot, and about, local businesses, of course, is part of that. But, people don't understand. They say, oh, you're trying to shut down the federal government. So we're not trying to shut down the federal government. We're trying to keep them from taking the money from New Hampshire in the first place so that we have it to make decisions locally on our own. When you say, when Gene Shaheen says, I got $300 million for this project, well, why didn't you stop that $300 million from leaving the state in the first place so people in the state could make this? Oh, wait, then you wouldn't have anything to do, would you?
And you can bet that $500 million got taken out of the economy in various places in order to get that 300 to bring back.
Yeah.
Whether it came out of our pockets directly, or whether it came from the printing press, which impoverished us, or whether a small amount of it was stolen from people in other states, it's still a bad deal.
But that's just it. They say, oh, you're trying to, you're going to shut down all these services. I'm like, well, what's the state government for? Well, we have a state government. We have local governments. We even have county government in New Hampshire. And they all have a job. And they'd all love to have more money to spend or maybe give back. Why is it that the minute you say you think the federal government spends too much money, people think you want to turn off the stoplights and shut down the schools? Nobody says that. You talk about local control and local business, you talk about keeping your tax money, then you just told us you want to support local education, you want to support local choices, you want to support Second Amendment rights that are decided by the people who live here, not someplace else. That's the message of local control. It's not shutting down government, it's not anarchy.
No.
It's you and your neighbors deciding what's right for you and your neighbors.
And in your case, your district, right?
That's right.
Have you been hearing from the people of your district? Have you been out there knocking doors and talking to people? And what kind of input are you getting?
The input I'm getting is to keep everything local control. Protect your gun rights and beat the Democrats so we can get House under control again.
Right, to get that spending trend line down to flat or shrinking instead of going up at 45 degrees.
If you don't want to spend an extra $2 billion next year in the next budget, you need to get rid of Maggie Hassan, or you need to have a legislature that's run by Republicans.
As soon as you get two Democrats together, the first thing they talk about is where we're going to get more tax money.
Right.
That's it.
Because, they first talk about the things they're going to spend money on for the little people or for the children, and then whose pocket they're going to pick to get the money to do that.
And no pocket is immune.
No,
there is no waiver for your pocket.
Two wolves and a lamb discussing what's for lunch.
That's right.
Here in New Hampshire, we prefer to be well-armed lambs and dispute that philosophy.
Well, I think once again, the Second Amendment issue is a good one for. And even just as a self-defense issue. I was talking earlier about this thing I got in the mail from the NRA. Oh, the evil NRA. I did actually make a suggestion. I posted the latest update on New Hampshire continuing to have the lowest homicide rate in the nation, less than 1 per 100,000 murders, and those weren't even all committed with guns. So the gun violence issue is really kind of a stupid argument way up there with the minimum wage one. But this says it all right here. If a criminal's breaking into your home, should you be allowed to defend yourself and your family? Castle doctrine. It's a real simple concept. Maggie Hassan's against it. The Democrat Party is against it. They don't want you to defend yourself. They want you to wait for somebody else with a gun to show up, a police officer, rather than you. Rick Olson was on last week or the week before. He had some guy in a hooded shirt, some drunk guy running around knocking on his doors, had no idea who he was. He's got his wife and his daughter in the house. The guy comes to the door, he's pounding on the door. Rick opens the door and holds a .45 in his face and says, "What are you doing?" The guy just like, whoa. It turns out he was just at the wrong house. Yeah. He didn't realize where he was. But Rick didn't know that. This is Manchester, and not even necessarily the best neighborhood in Manchester. So he held him there. His wife called the police. The police came. They talked to the guy. They talked to Rick. Everything worked out fine. Nobody got shot. Nobody was dead. But had this guy been an intruder and been a home invader and Rick not allowed to arm himself, what's he going to do? Why can't he defend himself and his property? Why do Democrats oppose that?
Even if it was a family dispute in the wrong house, if he had broken in, things could have got ugly.
Right, and they want you to wait. They want you to be the lamb.
They want you to wait.
They want us to turn our back and run.
Right.
But worse than that, they want you to wait so that the police can turn up and make a mistake.
And once again, another example, they always say that there's going to be this Wild West craziness, and it never happens. Lowest homicide rate in the nation.
Here in New Hampshire, we are better armed than most places, with the possible exception of Vermont. And yet we have...
And Vermont didn't do as well as we did.
And we have some of the lowest homicide rates per, not total, but per capita. And that's important when people say, as one of our regular commenters did, yeah, but nobody lives there, that's why there's no homicides. No, it's per capita. That's why it's a good thing to celebrate.
Yeah, and where nobody lives, in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, you don't think criminals go look at houses that are blocked from the road that can't be seen? Yeah, they do. They do. So it happens.
It happened in Mount Vernon a couple of years ago.
Right.
And again, armed homeowners are the best defense.
Mm-hmm. And dogs are good too.
Well, dogs will give you the warning.
Dogs bark. They go, hey, somebody's here. Hey, 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 somebody's here. Hey, hey. Even if it's the middle of the day. Hey, 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 there's a guy walking by. Hey, he's got a dog. Hey, hey. My dogs.
It's all good.
I have dogs because they bark when people come to the house.
They say geese work well, too.
Geese. I bet they do. Man, those things are loud. Your neighbors would be like, I'm going to shoot your geese. All right. Well, we're almost out of time. How do people reach you to talk to you about your race or campaign or issues?
Well, I have my phone number out there. I can give you that. And I also have a website. It's Patrick Page 4 New Hampshire, the number 4 in there. And my phone number is 724-9293. Happy to talk to anybody.
All right. And this is District House... county. I don't even know what county I'm in. Am I in Merrimack County?
I'm running Warner and Webster,
which
is District 7.
District 7.
And that's just west of Concord, correct?
That's correct.
South and west of Concord.
Well, northwest.
Northwest, okay.
Yeah.
Right up there along 89. In fact.
We used to have Hopkinton in there with us, and they pulled Hopkinton out.
Okay.
So right in that area.
Yeah, it's a very nice little area there up along 89.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and if you live there, you should give this gentleman consideration. He's in favor of small government and less taxation. So Patrick Page, a.k.a. the Flag Man, who has a most excellent flag shop. Once again, a plug for that right underneath CNHT here at Flagworks.
And that's 6 North Main?
That's correct.
6 North Main Street, ladies and gentlemen. Come visit him and get yourself some flags.
The very next door to our studio at 8 North Main.
Correct. So once again, thanks again, Patrick, for coming in.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, great to have you here. My name's Steve McDonald here with Mike Rogers. Skip Murphy has the week off. He isn't feeling as well as he would like, but he did help us get the live stream and the recording cameras up, so thank you very much, Skip, for that. Coming up next should be, if he didn't get lost or misplaced, and I can find the right note, Josh Moore, who's also running for the New Hampshire House. And after that, we will have Eileen Landies on, who is running for the New Hampshire State Senate in District 20. Stay tuned for more of that and whatever else happens to cross our ADD minds and our little squirrels. And we'll be right back in a few minutes.
Senator Jeanne Shaheen said, if you like your current health plan, you can keep it. That's not true, Senator. 22,000 New Hampshire citizens have been kicked off their insurance plans. Hospitals in Rochester, Concord, and Portsmouth, they aren't allowed to provide care under the exchange. Senator, you were wrong in your comments. You should apologize for your misleading remarks. I'm calling Senator Shaheen at 750-3004 and telling her I want my doctor back. You should too.
Paid for by SaberPac.org, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
We are struggling. Rising healthcare costs are part of the problem. Senator Jeanne Shaheen helped create this mess we're in. As a state senator, her bill chased 21 insurers out of our state. It reduced our choices, raised prices for New Hampshire families, and when Jeanne Shaheen supported Obamacare, it limited access to 10 of our 26 hospitals, reducing our choices again. Tell Jeanne Shaheen she's made healthcare worse. Few things are as important as finding the right doctor. And under Obamacare, that's harder than ever. Over a third of our hospitals no longer available. Our doctors no longer covered. Fewer choices, longer drives. No state has been harder hit than us. And even after watching it impact New Hampshire, Congresswoman Ann Custer still supports it. Call Ann Custer. Tell her Obamacare isn't working for New Hampshire.
This is a coalition of New Hampshire taxpayers. We're located at 8 North Main in Concord, New Hampshire. This is the repository for all things conservative and municipal. So if you have a problem in your town, your school, your budget committee, the right to know law, and now, at the top of our list is voter fraud. You have a tip for us, some information for us, you want to join or help us out, cnht.org.